So, what should you expect to go through emotionally when you stop drinking alcohol? It's an emotional journey, that's for sure, right? Speaking from a personal perspective, I know my emotions can sometimes lead me down paths that I really don't want to go, and I try and keep check of them as much as I can, right? I try and rule my life with my head than my heart, right? And I don't try to do this in a dead way like Spock from Star Trek or anything like that, where there's no emotions. You know, my emotions are the backbone of everything that motivates me in life, but I try to manage a healthy mix of reason and emotion, and almost always in that order. Now look, when you go through any big habit changes, especially something like stopping drinking alcohol, you're not only dealing with the changes that happen, that have got to happen, you're also dealing with the mental and physical aspects that come as a consequence of that long-term drug use. Now, you have the cravings, you've got the triggers, maybe you've got some withdrawal symptoms as well, and certainly the underlying habit that is trying to pull you back into your old behavior. You know, that mostly using your emotions is the preferred weapon of that old habit. You know, when this is happening, your emotions are going to be operating at their peak, you know, trying to influence and control your rational mind through rationalizations a lot of the time. And it's now that you really need to force yourself to think things through, to use your rational thinking in order to limit and control and direct your emotions as best you can for the outcomes that you want, right? You know, slowing down, having patience with yourself, having patience with your emotions, thinking through what you're feeling, and kind of herding those thoughts and feelings towards the outcome that you want in life, right? Now, you also have to become hyper aware that there's a conflict playing out in your mind, like creating a tug of war with your thoughts and your emotions. You know, one part of you wants to stop and move on to living that best life that you can live. Another part wants to stay exactly where you are in your comfort zone, continuing to use alcohol. You know, think about it like two different wolves battling each other in your head. And which wolf is going to win? That depends on which wolf you feed. And the wolf you feed is going to depend on the life that you value the most. So let me say that again. The side of this in a conflict that is going to win will be the one that you value the most, right? You might say you value living a good life, but your thoughts and your actions are always going to move you in the direction that you really want to go, right? So to reiterate, stopping drinking alcohol is going to be a time that you can expect to go through a wide variety of different emotions, right? And those emotions might include fear and anxiety, uncertainty, and possibly even the appearance of grief, right? You know, at least it can appear like you're grieving for something. And again, to be clear, those emotions are going to be mixed. They're directly in line with that inner conflict that everyone goes through when you're stopping drinking. You want to move on, as I said, and at the same time, there's a part of you that wants to stay exactly where you are, right? Now, the grieving comes into this. I think that comes from that latter part of you, that wanting to stay where you are, the part that can't wait to move on, is happy that your old habits are going to die, right? You know, but the grieving part, that's the part that finds it difficult to let go. It fears missing out on things. It feels like you're losing a friend, if you like. And the worst part is that, unlike real grief, where you're grieving the loss of a person, where there's no possibility of ever seeing that person again, not in this world anyway, you know, depending on what you believe, there's a simple solution if you can't stand the discomfort of, or the grieving process of this particular thing, getting rid of alcohol. Your old friend is waiting for you there on some supermarket shelf or in some bar or some liquor store, right? So there are going to be feelings of instability and insecurity in one form or another, in one degree or another. Now, because you're basically changing large parts of your personal identity, who you are, it can almost feel like you're going through a kind of identity crisis. You know, maybe you feel like you've lost a little control. You haven't, right? You just have to learn how to redirect the control that you already have. You're almost certainly going to have feelings that you're no longer sure about who you are or what you want anymore. You know, that's a natural part of this, but don't worry about this kind of thing, because it's all part of the work that you have to do, right? Stop the flow, do the work, move on. Now, when you adapt your thoughts and your mindsets, you'll gradually start to adapt to your new circumstances, if you like. You know, any big change is inevitably going to bring some feelings of frustration at times, and even some kind of discouragement. But again, this is all natural. They're all natural processes that we can work through. And above all, putting yourself into your discomfort zone is, I think, beneficial, right? Having this emotional tug of war inside of yourself has got its own value. You know, feeling like you're going through a grieving process also has its own value. You know, those internal conflicts are the place where you're going to find growth and opportunity. You'll never find these things in the security of your discomfort zone. So when you're forced to confront new challenges in your life, right, and when you force yourself to adapt to unfamiliar circumstances, you have the opportunity to learn new skills. You've got the opportunity to develop new strengths and get a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the world. Now, even though you know that change is going to be uncomfortable and it's often going to be difficult to navigate through these changes, you feeling discomfort ultimately becomes a catalyst for your own transformation and your growth and living the best life that you can live. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support my work, then please consider becoming a patron over on Patreon. Right? By pledging just a few dollars every month, you'll get exclusive access to everything that I put here and exclusive content over on Patreon as well. So you can help me continue to create high quality videos like this. So even if you can't support me in that way, please consider sharing these videos, giving them a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel so that you can see when we're putting up new content. So thank you again for your support. Thanks to all the people that have already supported us. So take care. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.